Welcome to the Let Your Spirit Guides Speak podcast. I'm Debra Engle, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today for information about living a happier and more creative life with the help of your personal spirit guides. You can find this podcast and many others at sacredstoriesmedia.com. Also, you'll find my award-winning book, Let Your Spirit Guides Speak, on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and at your favorite independent bookstores. And please stop by my website, debraengle.com, for information about upcoming events and workshops. That's DebraEngle.com. Today we're going to talk about a topic that's all about shifting your perspective. I call it, What's Right with This Picture? You probably know the game, What's Wrong with This Picture? Because there are tons of examples of it on the internet. Funny old family photos, pet photos where something just isn't quite right. Maybe there's something that's missing or doesn't belong, or photos that are just downright bizarre. The thing is that while those internet photos may be a game, our egos are asking the same question about events and people in our lives all the time. If you're feeling frustrated at work, your ego will ask, "What's wrong with this picture?" If you're having trouble in your love relationship, it wonders, "What's wrong with this picture?" If anything in your life seems out of place or missing, there's the ego asking, "What's wrong with this picture?" We get so used to asking that question that we forget there's another question that would give us a fresh perspective, a question we could ask instead. And that is, what's right with this picture? With the help of your spirit guides, you can see life through a different frame simply by asking them that question. Now, recently I had a session with one of my coaching clients. She'd been having some pressure in her chest, and when she went to the doctor, they couldn't find anything wrong medically. They did tons of tests, and they concluded that there was just nothing medically wrong with her. They couldn't necessarily explain what that pressure was, but they weren't concerned about it. She was cleared of any problems medically. Well, the thing is, she's going through a lot of spiritual and personal growth right now. Her world is expanding, and her heart is opening. But still, every time she feels that pressure, her ego grabs hold of it and asks, what if there's something really wrong? Well, when she told me that, I heard my guides saying, ask another question. Ask, what if something is really right? What if that pressure that she's feeling is a sign that she's opening up to more self-love or to joy? What if it means that she's accepting herself on a whole new level? Now, obviously, when you have physical symptoms, by all means, have them checked out by a doctor. But also know that the underlying reason for those physical symptoms might not be something dark and awful. Maybe it's something wonderful instead. And the thing is that we are all electrical systems that expand and we grow. Sometimes we feel those symptoms in our body, just like everything in our life can be a symptom of expansion. So sometimes you may feel those symptoms or those growing pains, not in the physical part of your body, but in life situations or in your relationships. That's where your spirit guides enter in, because they can help keep you focused on what's right instead of what's wrong. They can help you see your situation through new eyes with a fresh perspective. Let's say, for instance, that you've been feeling low on energy for a while and you just can't seem to shake it. All you want to do is rest and read and catch up on Netflix. Or let's say that you've been pretty social most of your life, but lately you'd rather spend your time in your garden. Or maybe you've typically dated quiet types, and all of a sudden you find yourself enjoying the company of a real extrovert. Well, your ego is likely to ask the question, what's wrong with this picture? It will assume that if something has changed, it's a sign of trouble, even if you are more peaceful and happier than ever, because that's what the ego does. So this is when you ask your guides the question, what's right with this picture? You may learn that the need for rest signals that you are growing spiritually, and your body needs time to catch up. Or maybe the desire for less people time and more garden time means that you're getting more grounded. Or maybe the change in the type of person you're dating shows a shift from special relationships, the kinds of relationships in the past that haven't worked, to something new, something real, something that honors you in a new way. Do you see how this works? Your ego mind will always ask the question, what if something is really wrong? But your spirit guides can help you ask the different question, what if something is really right? A Course in Miracles says this, which I love this quote. It says, learn how to look on all things with love, appreciation, and open-mindedness. Learn how to look on all things with love, appreciation, and open-mindedness. This really came to mind today when I met with another client who has had some relationship issues with her spouse. Now, when she focuses on those issues, they wear her down. And when she came and started the session today, that's where she was. She was confused. She was unhappy. She felt heavy. She was close to tears. So in the first part of the session, we talked about some of the frustrations that she's been feeling lately, feeling like she's not supported, or like she's not respected for who she is, or that she's not being heard. But then we changed the question, and we asked instead, what's right with this picture? And when she started thinking about what's right with her life, she keyed in on fun family gatherings, great time with her grandkids, wonderful friends, and really interestingly, even some wonderful support from the spouse who was causing her so much frustration. So while she came to today's session feeling confused and burdened, she left feeling happy and light, all because we switched what she focused on. We started looking for what was right in her picture, rather than what was wrong with it. And the truth is that in comparison to what's right in her life, the frustrations, the things that seem wrong, simply ceased to matter, because that's how it works. When you bring love to any situation, the fear just goes away. Love always wins. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down with your guides and ask them to show you a new picture of something that's been bothering you. It could be a conflict, a physical ailment, a long-standing frustration, whatever it is. Ask your guides to show you what it's really for, the meaning behind it, and why it's helpful to your growth, why it's actually a gift in your life. There's a wonderful line in A Course in Miracles, too, that says, we don't know anything about anything. That's because we can only see our lives through a very narrow lens, and much of that lens is clouded by fear. It's a little bit like we're in the cabin of a ship, looking out of a small porthole, and that view out the porthole is all we can see of our life, and part of that is clouded over by rain and fog. But your spirit guides can see the bigger picture. They can see why and how everything in your life is working for your good. So that's the mantra I want you to use in the visualization today. That's the practice I want you to get into, calling on your spirit guides for support. All is well. Everything is working toward your good, and your guides can help you see what's right with the picture rather than what's wrong with it. Once again, from A Course in Miracles, there's another great line that says, if you want only love, see nothing else. If you want only love, see nothing else. Literally, train your vision to see beauty, joy, peace, and the gifts in your life. Now, your ego will try to keep you focused on what your coworker said yesterday that made you mad, or the restaurant you went to recently where the service was slow, or the flight delay you had on your last vacation. And sure, you can focus on those things, and probably you'll be miserable and unhappy. So why do it? Why not ask your spirit guides to show you what's right instead? They can remind you of the everyday blessings all around you and show you the gifts underneath the annoyances in your life as well. It's like alchemy. They can take what seems wrong and show it in that new light to where now it's shiny, It's a treasure. It's a gift. That's where true joy comes from. True joy doesn't come in trying to fix the world around you and all the people in it, because we know that's a losing proposition. Joy is in finding the gifts in your life exactly where you are right now. And they're definitely there, trust me, and trust your guides. It's just a matter of asking the right question. So what I want to do today is to do a short visualization, one that will basically do what I mentioned a few minutes ago, sitting with your guides, talking with them, and asking them to show you a different picture of something or someone in your life. This will remind you that your guides are here with you and that all is well. So when the visualization is over, the podcast will be done as well. And what I'd like you to do at that point, as always, if you're in a place where you can, is to get a piece of paper and a pen, or sit down at the computer, speak into your phone, whatever you have available and convenient. And record anything that came to you through this meditation that you want to hold on to and to capture. With this visualization, there's some really exciting and powerful information that may come to you. But if there's much distance in time or space from this visualization, you may forget the message that showed up for you. Your conscious mind will forget, even though the message will be recorded on a soul level. So that's why it's helpful to write these things down, go back to them, work with them, ask your guides about them, and keep learning. So before we get into the visualization, I want to say thank you again for listening. I really hope you enjoyed it, and there is much, much more to come. So don't forget to subscribe to the Sacred Stories podcast stream on iTunes. And if you'd like more information about your spirit guides, please pick up a copy of Let Your Spirit Guides Speak through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and your independent bookstore. Also, I'd love to hear any questions or experiences you have about meeting and getting to know your spirit guides. Remember that you can find my contact information on my website, DebraEngle.com. So with that, let's move into the visualization. What I'd like you to do is to sit very quietly and take in several deep breaths. Close your eyes. Shift gently in your seat if you need to find a truly comfortable spot. Take in another deep, deep breath. And let it out with a sigh. If you feel any fear, blockage, or fatigue in your body, just take in a deep breath, breathing into that part of your body, consciously breathing in love and light and healing. And then exhale anything that no longer serves you. Making space for a new experience, for openness and relaxation. And knowing that your body has everything it needs to heal. And now in your mind's eye, see yourself looking at a situation or a person in your life that feels troubling to you in some way. And see that situation or that relationship or person as though you're seeing a photo in a frame, as though you're looking at a picture. If you're feeling frustration from that situation or that relationship, see the frustration in the photo. Let yourself feel it. It's okay. If you feel anger or blame, guilt, shame, whatever emotions you might be feeling, just go ahead and see those things in that picture. Know that it's okay. Your spirit guides are with you. And you can just go ahead and feel whatever feelings or sensations come up. And now ask your spirit guides this question: what's right with this picture? In your mind's eye, keep your eye on that picture in front of you and watch as your guides transform the picture into something new, something fresh, maybe something that you've never seen before. Just sit quietly for a moment and know that you don't need to do anything. Just observe the picture and watch it change. You might hear a message from your guides or feel a sensation. If so, simply become aware of whatever you experience. And now pay attention to any details that stand out in the new version of the picture. What draws your eye or captures your attention? What feelings do you see or experience as you look at that picture? Let this new picture shift your perspective about the situation or the person in your life. Say yes to it, knowing that all is well and that everything is working toward your good. If there's something you'd like to say to the guides to express how you're feeling, go ahead and do that now. Breathe in their comfort. Breathe in their safety and their reassurance. With every breath, remember that you are never alone and that your guides are with you always. Sit in silence for a moment, receiving love from your guides, letting it soak in. And now take a moment to express your gratitude to the guides for transforming what's wrong with this picture to what's right with this picture. Know that you can come back to this place at any time that you want transformation, anytime you want the picture to be changed, that you can come right back here. So take in a deep breath. Let it out with a sigh. Take in another deep breath. And let it out. And very gently and slowly, and as you're ready, open your eyes. Come back to your space. And record anything you'd like to remember from your experience.